Well, they did it. They nerfed this blue and purple Luffy, so we have to put some new cards in to supplement what we lost. But does it work? Well, let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mabi here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for this blue and purple Monkey D Luffy leader that originally came out in OP11. However, this one's meant for OP12 and below. You can also play this in OP13, as there's no new OP13 cards I would put in this deck. Now, the game plan here is very similar to before the ban of these specific two cards, by the way. So they banned these two cards in combination with this leader. As of recording, in the future, who knows, they might remove these, right? But basically, you lost a lot of healing and removal with this. You lost a good amount of defense with this, and some re-ramping and re-standing. So without these two, you really have to supplement your game plan. So we're going to talk about every single card in this video breakdown. If you guys just want the deck profile, pause the video, head on over to the website, Mabi TCG.com. There you can get this deck and many others that we cover in image and text format. So as I mentioned, the game plan is very, very similar. You ramp up, however, you need some more cards just to, you know, do what these things did. So basically, we're running a small Don Quixote Doflamingo package, which is kind of interesting. We're going to be talking about every single card, how they work, little tips on how to use them, and of course, if you want to go first or second. So with this particular deck, I would recommend you do want to go first. If you go second, you do have a 4-drop that still helps you ramp, but basically you want to go first because you have cards that are 3-Don that help you ramp. As soon as you hit 8 or higher, that's when your game plan comes into play, and then you pop off. And let's just talk about every single card, starting with the leader itself. And we are using proxies in today's videos. This is so we can print out and play test a lot in person with a lot of our friends. It's really fun to do so. Link down below if you guys are interested in the FAQ of, you know, how proxies work. And of course, we're using cool alternate arts, but don't worry, just get the base form if you plan on buying these cards. Okay, so Luffy, OP11, 6,000 striking leader, 3 life with blue and purple, but you are 6,000. All right, so you have one basic effect here. You may activate this at the start of your turn. So technically you can activate it every turn, but the effect won't go off. So if you have 8 or more Don at the time that this happens, meaning at the start of your turn you need 8, so hopefully you can ramp up or get Don on your opponent's turn to hit 8 while this happens. You're gonna look at the top 5 cards of your deck, grab one Straw Hat Crew type card, and put it into your hand. It can be a character, it can be an event. Then the place go to the top or bottom of your deck in any order. Obviously, this is very powerful. As soon as you hit late game, you can get one free card. Then you can set up the top of the deck in order to grab another card of your choice, or set up the top as well for your 9-drop Sanjis, or if you don't like anything you see, grab a card, put the rest on the bottom, and hopefully you can do some more drawing there. So, game plan. Ramp, Straw Hats late game, lots of really cool swarming cards to help you defend. The first card we're going to be talking about is going to be Gear 2, so from OP11. This is a really great card for the deck. This one costs 1. There's 2 effects here. Activate main, rest 2 of your Don cards, so it's going to be 3 Don total. If your leader's color includes blue, which this does, you ramp 1 and rest it. The secondary ability here is going to be a counter card for 1. Up to 1 of your leaders only gains 3,000 power during this battle. This is super good if you can get this in your opening hand. I recommend keeping it because on your second turn, going first or second, you can use 3 Don and you can go ahead and ramp up, and then you can start working towards your game plan. Now, usually late game, this card would be kind of garbage. I mean, it's not the worst because with 1 Don you can counter it for 3,000. But we do have a new card in here that we're going to be using that allows you to trash specifically events in order to draw some more cards. So if you really want to save your extra active Don for your more powerful Gum Giant cards and you don't want to use these ones, this is really good for early game. And in this particular setup in the deck, it's a lot more beneficial later because it's a really good trashing fodder for that thing. We're running, I want to say 8, 10, 11, we're running like 12 to 14 events. So yeah, you're going to be using that 5-drop Rosinante a lot. So really perfect for the deck. If you keep this going forward, going first, absolutely keep it. All right, so Gum Giant from OP09. A lot of people thought that this was actually going to be banned. I'm actually, you know, I'm pretty happy that they ended up not banning cards straight out, but with combinations. It was just way too oppressive and powerful for this leader. But Gum Giant is still usable in every Straw Hat Purple deck at the moment. So one effect here, counter -2 Dawn at the time you activate this. Trash 1 extra card from your hand. Could be a lot of stuff like this, and more bricks, whatever. Then if your leader is Straw Hat, up to 1 of your leaders or characters, that's really important. You can save something else on the board besides your leader. They gain 4,000 power, then you draw 2. Insanely good. You don't want to use this early. You really don't if you can help it, because basically if you minus the 2 Dawn, you have no way of re-ramping it ASAP. So you want to maybe hit 9 or 10 Dawn before you start using this. If you have to do it beforehand because you're getting rushed down or something, so be it, but that's less than ideal. And once again, you draw 2 afterwards, so you get a net positive on that. But yeah, it's just it's a super just crazy powerful card. So really, you don't want to see it too early because there are bricks in your hand, but amazing late game. All right, even more events. This is Thunder Bagua from OP01. This one costs 2. This one's a counter. Your leader or character gains 4,000 power. This is 2, so it's a little expensive. However, at the time that you activate this, if you have 2 or less life, which is not too hard to do, if your opponent attacks into you for their secondary turn, for their second turn with a 3 or 4 Dawn, and and they match you to 6, you usually with this leader, you before you would run Thunder Baguas and you had these ones, I would say don't take the hit. But basically, yeah, you want to go down to 2, so Bagua can activate. So you heal somebody afterwards, and then yeah, so you take the 6, and then hopefully on a future turn, very soon, the turn after, you want to activate this, because at the time you activate it, when you have 2 or less life, you get to ramp 1 rested. This is one of the very nice cards to help you actually ramp up on your opponent's turn. So if you are running 7 Dawn at that time, and you have 2 left over, go ahead and Thunder Bagua. Your opponent's going to be like, crap, you ramped up to 8. Then you can activate your ability right away. So it's a really powerful card. The trigger here is add 1 card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. You don't have a lot of life, but if this goes off, it's super perfect for the deck. Now, just with the Gear 2, same situation. This one is going to be a little bit less used late game. You want to prioritize using the Gum Giants because there's just so much more benefits when you have 9 or 10 Dawn. However, because we are now running these Rosinantes at the end of your turn, this allows you to set 2 Dawn active. You can get more use out of this, or with those 2 extra Dawns you activate, more of these. Gear 2, 1 Gear 2, 1 Gum Giant. Like I said, you have to run a lot of defense now because your 2 gigantic major setups here are absolutely gone. So you have to run even more defense. So these cards paired with that Rosinante just makes it a lot more consistent. So running 2 of these. All right, if you guys are enjoying so far, please make sure to like and sub. It's free, it helps out the channel, and we're uploading daily duels and deck profiles for One Piece and a lot of other anime TCGs. All right, Zorojiro, another card you want to see in your opening hand. If you see Gear 2 or you see Zorojiro, keep it and then move on. You can play this on your 3 Dawn or 4 Dawn turn, then 3, 4, 1. When attacking, if you have 3 or less life, which you start with 3 or less life, you get to ramp 1 active. So this is really awesome because there's different ways that you can absolutely use this card. You could set it on 3. Next turn you're going to be having 5 or 6 Dawn. You could attack into your opponent, then ramp 1 as active, and you didn't have to use any Dawn for that turn. Then you are left with 6 3, 5 to 6 or to 7, and then you can use that extra Dawn to do a lot of stuff, or you can just simply attach the Dawn to him, attack a leader that's 5,000, and then you just get that Dawn back as active. And if you can keep this character alive, it's a very high target to be removed. Then you can wrap up even more, then just really get your game plan going. This is nice. This is searchable by your leader's ability. Oh yeah, by the way, this deck has no searching except for your leader ability late game, so it's searchable as a 1k counter. Really bad late game, it's just super early at a 1k counter, but damn, if you're able to leave it on the board for 1 or 2 turns, that's awesome. It's really good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are running these Don Quixote Doflamingos. Like I said, we're running a Don Quixote package somewhat. We have 3 of these. We have 2 of these Dofis. We have 3 of these Rosinantes, and they all combo with these late game Dofis that are able to summon them. So that's why we're running this here. This one, being a very cheap cost blocker, allows you to play other cards in tandem with it, or leave Dons restanding. But anyway, from OP01, 3, 4, 1, and a blocker 4, you really usually aren't going to be attacking with this. But if you want to, it's a very cheap, relatively cheap, to add on top. 1 Dawn to do some 5,000 damage. So on play, look at the top 5 of your deck, place them to the top or bottom in any order. If you somehow miss your Zoros or you miss your Gears too, but you ended up with this Luffy, that's not bad. You can at least play it for 3 and set up the top of your next couple of draws, which is pretty good. Late game, you can play this for 3 and have, 6 or 7 Dawn ready to do other stuff, such as Gum Gum Rock, Blaze, Raging Tiger, a lot of stuff like that. So it being relatively low cost is actually really good for the deck. All right, so nice. So running 3 of these. Next off, we have our first of the 2Ks. Now in this deck, we have our defense is primarily going to be blockers and events. We're only running 8 2Ks in the deck, and this is one of them. Usohachi from ST18, 332 on play. If you have 8 or more Dawn when you play this, rest a 5 cost or less. You're usually only going to be using this when you need to go for game. Otherwise, keep it in your hand. You don't have a lot of 2Ks, so you want to be as defensive as possible. This is Straw Hat, so you can absolutely search for it later as well, and pick the card right from your leader ability. And that's pretty much how this card is used in the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you have your early game Zoros for ramping. You have your Gear 2s for ramping. You also have Thunder Boggle for ramping on your opponent's turn. This one also helps with that, nice and consistent, especially if you're going seconds. Mr. 2 Bonkure Benta from EBO 1411 on play. You ramp 1 is active, so if you play this on your second Dawn, on your turn 2 with 4 Dawn, you go 5 to do whatever, etc. Just 1 is active. Just make sure you remember to use it as active, but you also want to play around sort of triggers. So if you're planning on playing this and then using the active Dawn to put on your leader to attack 7,000, you want to make sure you're not playing into your opponent's hand. Maybe they are a heavy trigger deck that can easily destroy this character, especially if it's like a red deck or a blue deck. They can easily remove 1,000 or 4 cost things. So even if you want to attack for 6, if you really need this on the board, make sure you attack first, then leave the Dawn up to maybe feints or do whatever. But yeah, it really depends, right? So be careful. When attacking, select up to one of your opponent's characters that's on the board. This character's base power becomes that until during this turn. So if your opponent has a 7,000 character, you can attack into it, copy it for 7,000, attack into their leader, copy that guy for 7,000, etc. Same thing. So after that, this is another really huge priority for your opponent to remove, because you're just going to be able to match their cards on the board. So this one's going to eat up a lot of attacks, which is good. Another bad thing is, though, if they have a lot of weak, small searching cards, 1,000, 2,000s, you usually don't want to save it. Unless you want to save it when your opponent has a gigantic body on the board that you want to copy, like an 8, 9, 10,000. Maybe you spend a 2K to save it if they're attacked with a smaller character. Just think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, only Straw Hats are searchable with your leader ability, but you can still choose what you want to grab. You can grab a Straw Hat, then set this up to be the next card that you draw at the start of your turn to take it. So that's good. All right, so Charlotte Pudding, we're running one of these. Every blue deck should run one, I feel like. It's just super, like, in the meta these days, people are either rushing down, like very 25% like rushing you down, but more than not, they're going late game, 6,000, 7,000 power leaders, 9, 10 cards plus. You want 1 or 2 of these. And once again, with the leader ability, not too bad to get as well. Really easy to set it up and put on top of your life. 4, 4, 1 on play. Your opponent returns all cards in their from their hand to their deck, shuffles it, then they draw 5. So you want to use this absolutely when they have 7, 8, 9 plus. It really destroys their game plan. You might set them up with a better hand, but at the very least, you are making them really destroying it, and it's just good. And you only need 1 Dawn if you want to do some extra damage with a leader. If they're a 5,000 leader, super good card. Okay, now let's talk about this Luffy. So we're running 2 of these in here. This one PRB02 561. This has innate blocker for 6. It doesn't really protect your leader that much, but it's a nice attacker. Also, on the on play, if your leader is multicolored, which it is, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as rested. You have a lot of ramping cards, and this one is just one of the middle game, your mid-game ramping cards if you just really need to. If I wasn't running this 8-cost Luffy that can summon this guy, I might instead put in the 5-drop Namis that came out in OP11, because they're really good as well. But this one is awesome because it can be summoned. So there you go. Now, one of your key pieces, I say key pieces because this is really a lot of value for the deck. Don Quixote Rosinante from OP10, 561. On play, trash it event to draw 2. You have so many events. Once again, we're going to go over them. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12, 13, 14. So many cards. So many cards. Trash an event and draw some stuff. However, the secondary abilities are really good here. At the end of your turn, if you have 7 or more Dawn cards on your field, you set 2 of them as active. So because you have so many events here that use 1 or 2 Dawn, you want to, make use of everything. You don't want to just leave a Dawn up at the end of your turn. That kind of sucks. Usually, you would do something like this to, help you, just re-ramp up. But because you want to absolutely just stay defensive as possible, you can play this relatively early. And then you can make use out of these cards, these gear 2s that doesn't deramp you. Then towards your late game, you can put all of your Dawn on the board and then get 2 back up. And then, damn, your opponent's like, damn, I have to worry about maybe potentially 2 Gum Giants. So annoying. Even if you don't have any. The fact that you have it every single turn, the 2 Dawn active, your opponent really has to play around it, if they know what's going on. Okay. Crazy good. It's decent to play on its own, but you primarily just want to play with the 8 drops because you want to spend all of your Dawn ramping. So if you have 2 of these on the board, I would say play this one to ramp up and then use this one later. So next, we're running 3 of these. Now we're running God Thread here. This one is from OP10. This one costs 5. Activate during your main. You go ahead and KO a 5 cost on the field, then ramp one active. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is not searchable by anything. Technically it's a Don Quixote's card, but you're not really searching for Don Quixote cards. So a lot of really good 5 drops here. You have these ones that ramp you up and these ones that ramp you up. You can play this if it's a little slower. If you have both of these in your hand, play this if it's a little slow on the board. Or if your opponent is going crazy, they have 4 and 5 drops, freaking just KO that thing, man. The trigger here is add up one of your Dawn deck and as active. So you have a good amount of triggers, even though you only have 3 life. So if it hits, it hits. It's pretty good. And this is honestly not too great late game, but thank God you have this card or your Gum Giants to remove it and draw extra cards. So I usually, I was iffy about these, but with these now, I'm happy to run at least 2 in here. All right, your last of your 2Ks. Remember, we're only running 8 total. Sanji, OP07 662. If the number of Dawn cards on your field is 2 or less than your opponent's, give this card in your hand -3 cost. You're ramping up as much as possible. You're usually never going to go down -2 over your opponents, even if you're using Gum Giant. Okay, if you use Gum Giant 2 times in your turn, yeah, towards the late game, you're going to have 8 to their 10, and then this is when it will come into play, but most likely not. Okay, so anyway, this is in here because it's a pinch blocker if you need to for a 6, potential 2, very, very low chance. But it's searchable by the leader ability, which is supported. All the 2Ks in here, Usohachi, Sanji, searchable by our leader ability, really good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it's up to you whether or not you want to run these, don't run these, run more of these, run more of these. It's up to you of what you feel like you want to play, but I recommend at least 1 in here of each. So Gum Red Rock from OP04, this one costs 6. Activate main, bottom deck any character on the field if you're able to. The trigger here is bottom deck a 4 or less. Once again, they're really good triggers. You only have 3 though, not too bad. So yes, I talked about this before. If you're towards the late game, you have a decent board setup. Your opponent drops something big, but you still need some defense. You Red Rock, you have like 9, 10 Dawn total. Activate a Doflamingo. Then boom, you have a body, you remove something, you put a blocker on the board. Then if you have this Rosinante, you set 2 Dawn back as active, so then you're a threat with more of your defensive cards. That's like one of the really good late game plays if you're not playing your Sanji straight out. You have a lot of ways to remove things. Same thing with Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. OP06, this one costs 7. Activate main, bottom deck 2, 6 or less to the bottom. Nice. These are really good for especially swarming decks. So like I said, depending on your, on your locals, right? Whoever like, oh, I'm going to play like 3 relays today. Just throw a bunch of these in there. Trigger, bottom deck a 5 cost. The trigger is much more stronger. However, it costs 1 more. It's a, same thing with this. It's all over the place. If you have 10 Dawn, you can play this, play Dofi, remove stuff, put a blocker, etc. All right, so here we go. The one that summons all of the Dofi cards. Don Quixote Doflamingo from OP10. 890. On play, you get to -1 Dawn. This one puts you to 7 if you play it on curve, which is not great. Because you need 8 Dawn at the beginning of your turn to activate your leader's ability. However, if you're able to play this on 8s, you get to summon a Don Quixote Pirates that costs 5 or less from your hand. Best case scenario, this one into this one. You play this minus the 1, then you do your shenanigans with this, trash, draw, put 2 Dawn back as active. And with those 2 Dawns that you do set up as active on your opponent's attack, you may rest one of your Dawns to ramp one as active. So basically, the Dawn that you lose from here, you get it back right away. If you play this on curve, you're still going to be 8 Dawn by the time your turn comes back around, which is really good. So this is like a tiny Sanji, right? You get to play something and you add it as active, and you get that really nice Rosinante on the board. This is 9,000 power as well. So you can play this with Sanji, which is really good. Let's talk about that Sanji from OP06. Oh yeah, and by the way, it's any Doflamingo character, right? Any Don Quixote pirate. So we have these ones, best case scenario. Secondary, you can play these for blocking, and also these ones here for blocking late game. So if you play this, you get a body on the board, and then you can play this to swarm a little bit and have some defense and set up the top of your deck, or put them to the bottom if you don't like it. Sanji, all right, here we go from OP06. 990. On play, reveal the top card of your deck if it's a character 9 or less other than a Sanji card, meaning you cannot play this Sanji here. You get to play it, and then the rest go to the bottom of your deck. Yep, late game, you set up the top, easy with your leader ability. Lots of stuff, lots of stuff you could play. You want to basically play these Mihawks, you want to play these these Luffys, then you want to play these Dofis. 3 amazing good cards. Sanji into this one allows you to have 2 bodies on the board, as well as that Rosinante to help you sift trash and set 2 Dawn as active, so you have Dawn. Sometimes when you play the Sanji, especially on curve, you're not going to have Dawn ready active. So if you play this into the Rosinante, you're going to have Dawn up, which is really good. Running 4 of these, really powerful. It's really good because this is searchable by your leader ability too. You can grab a Sanji, make sure the top card is a 2K or something that you need, grab it, and then at the top, at the very card, you leave a Dofi, a Mihawk, or a Luffy, and then you just go ham. All right, now time for your last 2 cards of the deck. We're running 2 of these. So I'm gonna say the same thing of your Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger, and your Red Rocks. I'm running 2 of these, but feel free to not run one of these. Run the other one. Add more of these, add less of these. It's really your preference here, but I like both of these cards. So the first one here is this Mihawk from OP01 990 on play, bottom deck A7. So the point of the Sanji is you don't want to just throw bodies on the field. You want to make sure they do something when they are summoned. Sanji summons the Mihawk. You're able to at least remove something on the board. Next turn, 9,000 powers. That's pretty much it. Same thing with this. If you summon this Luffy with the Sanji, you get a 10,000 rushing on the board and also sifting, which is pretty good. But anyway, last card of the deck, Luffy, OP09, 910. On play, you return 1 Dawn from your field to your Dawn deck. Not a problem if you are playing this with 9 or with your Sanji, because you go down to 8. And if you don't remove any more Dawn, then your leader ability is going to activate. Then you get to draw 1 card, then this character gains Rush. One of your very, very few Rush cards. Now, you can also run you can run more of these, or you can run the 8 cost Blue Luffys as well that came out in this set. I think it's OP11 that came out as well. You can run those too. So that is the deck, guys. It's interesting, you know. I had to really think about this a lot, and I feel like this is a fun, like it's a pretty fun thing to do. You have a lot of ways to remove, a lot of defense now, even though you're not running any 2Ks. A lot of good ramping cards early game. And now with the inclusion of, some of the new Dofi cards we've added, the Don Quixote pirate cards we've added, it's very easy to use them when you need to, restand your Dawn, or trash them if you don't need them anymore. So, rip Katakuri and Linlin with this leader, but I think, this is one that you can absolutely use as well. Or you can go ahead and play the same damn deck, except remove these and put 4 Mihawks and put 4 of those Luffys. You can do that as well. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and sub. It really helps out. So this is a longer video than usual. And on the website if you guys want to see what's going on there. So thanks, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.